Did you think for a moment Pogacar might let Jonas have that win today?
No. No, I mean, especially, so like I said, and also, I think we said it yesterday or 2 days ago. No, it could be that he wins the last 3 stages of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's going to happen. He's now also, one stat I saw is that he's now won 5 mountain stages in one Grand Tour. And it's only been done by one cyclist ever, very long time ago, in Gino Bartali. Gino, that must have been in the 40s, 50s, I guess.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to JB Squared, second to last day. It's hard to believe. I'm JB Hager, and Johan Brunel is here with me, and we're going to talk about stage 20 of the 2024 Tour de France. It's all winding down. It feels like when you think about some of those early stages, it feels like it was a year ago.
It does.
Does it feel that way as a writer and a director?
Yeah, I have trouble now thinking back on where it started and who won, and it's like it feels such a long time ago.
I know. Who won the first stage? Let's just try.
Romain Bardet.
Because there were 3 French riders very early. Yeah, good on you. Because it seems like it's a lifetime ago. Before we get started, thank you to Ketone IQ. This has been fueling the whole team this entire tour, putting out 4 shows a day. We've been busy. Quick little shot here. This is the newer peach one with caffeine. Tastes really
can't take that one now at this time of the because it's 9:15.
You don't sleep anyway. Come on.
I'm just gonna go with the normal one. Yeah.
You don't sleep anyway. I'm telling you.
I do.
Our listeners, well, you sleep with one eye open then, because it doesn't matter what time you send an email or a text and what time in the overnight, Johan's right back to you. Probably because you have kids. When your kids are young, you sleep with one eye open anyway, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Today was an interesting stage for a couple reasons. Let's go through. We thought it might be a breakaway, and I do think that UAE and Pogacar were willing to let it go. I would love your thoughts on that. But there were other initiatives by Soudal and Remco. So why don't you break that down for everybody?
Initially, JB, so 132 kilometers, 4,400 meters with 4 climbs. Very hard stage once again. Super fast start. I guess everybody had seen the interview of Pogacar saying, we let the breakaway go. But it came to a point where there was one moment, there was like a really big group, of which then later on the final breakaway went. But there were like between 15 and 20 riders, and number 6, 8, 9, and 10 of the GC were in there. So obviously, then finally it split, and we got actually a group of about, I think it was 10 riders or 9 riders in total. But with really strong climbers, Carapaz, Enric Mas, Wilco Kelderman, Romain Bardet, Johannesson, and also surprisingly Marc Soler from UAE was in there. So that was another reason for UAE to not chase to get the breakaway back. So what happened is that on those first 2 climbs, they set, mainly on the second climb, because the break went on the first climb. Really an easy pace. They kept it around 4 or 5 minutes, I guess. So basically, you could also see that the breakaway was also not pushing it too hard, because UAE was pulling with their non-climbers, which are climbers now also, by the way, because Niels Pollitt and Tim Wellens did a great job today. And then basically what happened, JB, was with the only way that it could happen that the breakaway didn't make it was that if another team had other plans. UAE was fine with it, but Soudal Quickstep had other plans. So they started to pace hard on the second to last climb, really hard. with two riders. I guess with Gianni Moscon and Ilan van Wilder did a really good job. These guys. And so you could see the difference coming down, and then on the last climb, 15 kilometers, I think they had about it was more or less the same like yesterday. I think they had just under 3 minutes with the 15-kilometer climb to go. So, if it would be an attack from Pogacar, you would say, okay, this is over, Mm-hmm. But we kind of knew that Pogacar would not attack, and that Remco was clear that when Soudal Quickstep started to up the pace, and especially at the bottom of the last climb, they had Jan Hirt and then Mikel Landa, who really, really set a fast pace. The goal was for Remco to try Jonas and try to get some time back on him. At the same time, when those two guys started to pace, the difference from 3 minutes went to 2 minutes to 1.5 minutes. And then it was almost sure that the breakaway would not make it. Although the last two riders of that breakaway were Richard Carapaz and Enric Mas. They were going really well. They did a really, really nice pace, but still it was not enough. So yeah, we expected that attack from Remco. He attacked the first time with 7 kilometers to go. Jonas could follow straight away. Pogacar, of course. And then two riders came back. I think it was Almeida and actually Matteo Jorgensen. We need to mention him today. He was with the 5 best climbers of the whole Tour de France. Not coming from a breakaway. So I think that kind of shows a little bit the level he has. He's in really good shape. He's tired, but I think today was a very, very, very nice test for Matteo Jorgensen for his future as a Grand Tour rider.
Our American audience really likes to hear that. By the way, I'd say, I've looked at a lot of demographics. Our audience is about half American and half around the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what our number one city is? It's not a U.S. city.
Wow. London. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm surprised about that. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Hello to the UK.
So, this is, man, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, because if you're saying Jorgensen is a future tour guy, then he's on the team with Jonas.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's still discovering himself, and I think he's super, super happy in the team he is on. I think today was a great statement from him. Obviously he was super, super disappointed yesterday about not winning the stage. That performance today, although it may seem like, okay, maybe not very remarkable, but it means a lot. Mm-hmm. It means a lot because you're up there with the 4 or 5 best riders of the Tour in stage 20 after having worked the whole 3 weeks for your leader. That says something about the qualities of a rider. And especially for a rider like Matteo, the Tour de France is probably the best of the 3 Grand Tours because the climbs are longer. They're not as steep as the Giro and the Vuelta. And today, that performance for me, I value it a lot in terms of his worth as a rider.
He's got to be pretty happy to finish in the top 10 as well, because when you're doing that kind of workload, and I think most of our audience knows this, you usually peel off and you're gassed and you're moving backwards. That tells me he continued after doing his work efforts to get across the line with a decent time. And something else for our audience to look forward to with Jorgensen, he's on the Olympic squad for the U.S.
Uh-huh.
So if you're saying he's on good form.
Yeah, well, the Olympic course is maybe not, he can be okay. It's, it's very explosive. So especially the final is going to be very explosive. So it has Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert written all over it. But listen, if you come out of the Tour with a really, really good base and you still have some reserves, you're going to be in front. It's a race of attrition. It's super, super long, 270K, I think, in Paris. It's going to be hot, probably also very hot. So No, he'll be in front. He'll be in front in the Olympic Games.
Let's talk about Remco for a second. I was really happy to see that him attack and try because he knew he had a 5-minute buffer or so in case what happened. Yeah. If he tries to attack and blows up, he knows he has buffer, and he's also very good at recovering and getting back on pace.
Yeah.
He has to leave this tour thrilled with his results. And I want to get your thoughts on that. And you've been very open about how tough the Belgian press is on him. I imagine everyone is thrilled with this result.
He's walking on water in Belgium, JB. I mean, first of all, because it's clear that the two first guys are unreachable at this moment for him. And he actually also said it, like today he said, I'm happy with my performance. I'm not at the same level as these two guys, but now I want to take that as a benchmark and see what I have to do to get to that level. The guy's super ambitious, So that's also why he attacked today. He probably thought that because Jonas didn't have a great day yesterday. So he said, okay, he's going down, but Jonas bounced back today. I mean, he was a lot better than yesterday, actually. Was never in trouble when Remco attacked. And on top of that, he could counterattack and drop him. But hats off to Remco for trying, and also I repeat once again, the team around him was outstanding. Mm-hmm. Like today in the final of the race, they had still 5 riders. They had, as I said, they had Moscona and Van Wilder, and then they had Jan Hirt and Landa. Mikel Landa, probably one of his best tours. He's gonna finish 5th. But he's finishing 5th. But every time that Remco has needed him, he was there. Mm-hmm. So Landa's on great form, because whenever he has finished his job, he keeps going, and he is not very far behind Almeida, who, in my opinion, has does less work than. I mean, he's done work also today, but Landa has done the same kind of job for sure. So, I mean, if you look at the top 5, it's Pogacar, Jonas, Remco, Almeida, and Landa. I mean, it's 5 really, really good riders. So, the tour puts always everybody in his place,
And I'll say the same thing about Jonas that I just said about Remco. I know we all saw him get emotional. He was upset. He has to be thrilled with this performance. All things considered, going back to his injury in the spring, he by all means, should not have been in this Tour de France. And he's putting out his best numbers ever.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it shows you what an athlete he is. And I would not have expected him to be on this level, even with, a little up and down. But the times he was on a little bit down, I mean, he was not that down. I mean, he was still second. He was still second in the stage,
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because for some of our audience, there may be some confusion about yesterday, which is the most comments we've ever had on the Move and JB Squared ever. The controversy over Pogacar taking wins. Mm-hmm. Explain the difference of yesterday and today to our audience. Why yesterday people were like, some were unsure, not you, if he should have done that. But today's very different. Just explain the difference to people.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not different at all. I mean, for some people, it's different. But if you look at today, for example, yesterday you could say, why do they want to win all the stages with the team? The team didn't have to pull so hard. I explained my reasoning yesterday. Today, for example, you could say, Pogacar hasn't pulled 1 meter. He's been sitting on the wheel, and then he beats him in the sprint. But if you look back for example, if you look at last year, I want to compare to last year all the time. So if you take stage 20 last year, right? Or the last mountain stage, I don't remember if it was stage 20, but anyway, Pogacar had he lost the 7 minutes or 8 minutes. Then he had a few days to recover. And then he wanted to win that last mountain stage. He attacked, could never drop Jonas. Jonas was always sitting on the wheel. not pulling, or at least when he was pulling, they were almost standing still. And then they get to the finish, and it's a 5-man sprint, I think, and Pogacar wins. But Jonas sprinted full gas. I mean, it's not like because he was leading with more than 8 minutes from Pogacar. You could also say, okay, the difference is that Jonas didn't win, but he tried to win. Mm-hmm. So to me, there's no difference. I mean, these guys, and especially when they're riding against each other, they're not going to give any gifts. Today, for example, I mean, Jonas said, "Yeah, I at first I thought maybe he would give me the stage or something, but I'm pretty sure that deep down he doesn't really want that. He doesn't want to win a stage because Pogacar lets him win. He wants to win because he beats him."
Yeah, and similarly, early in this stage, when Jonas won, outsprinted Pogacar. Pogacar said something too. Okay, we know he's 100% because Pogacar knows his numbers, and he got beat in a sprint. He made a comment. You may remember it better than I, but now we see he's 100%. This is what I wanted. This is a good race. Even though this rivalry seems to be building, there's a mutual respect, and they both want to compete healthy.
Yeah, for sure. They respect each other tremendously. This year it was a bit less obvious because they were both not in jerseys. Last year we got to see the yellow jersey and the white jersey every single day behind the finish line, and they were cooling down and they were, congratulating each other. This year we haven't seen that because Jonas was never in a jersey, right? Mm-hmm. So it was always Tadej behind the podium and Jonas next to his bus.
And we saw Tadej with Remco.
Exactly.
Very similarly because of the white jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you think for a moment Pogacar might let Jonas have that win today?
No. No, I mean, especially, so like I said, and also, I think we said it yesterday or 2 days ago. No, it could be that he wins the last 3 stages of the Tour. Mm-hmm. Looks like it's going to happen because I think he's winning the time trial tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, he's now also one stat I saw is that he's now won 5 mountain stages in one Grand Tour, and it's only been done by one cyclist ever, very long time ago, in Gino Bartali. Gino, that must have been in the 40s, 50s, I guess.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah. I mean, he's breaking records after record after record, and at 25 years old, he is tomorrow probably going to be already at 17 Tour de France stage wins. Mark Cavendish, here I come.
It's very real. Yeah, what people thought was impossible is now very, very real. But it's also, it seems like the I hate to, this is, I don't want to be negative, but the sport is more dangerous than ever, faster than ever. As we saw.
Well, and also JB, he's not going to win every year 5 or 6 stages. This is exceptional. Yeah. If he has a good tour and maybe he wins another one, and he may win two stages or 1 stage and win. Although the way he races, I have my doubts if he's going to be able to do that.
One of the things I was thinking about this morning, because he has accomplished so much by 25. 20 years ago plus, you weren't even the GC rider until you were older than 25, most likely, right? Yeah. It seems like they would hit their prime at like 27.
Except that's true, except the really big champions. Like, I think Eddie Merckx won his first tour at 23. Laurent Fignon won his first 2 tours at 21 and 22. Bernard Hinault was, I think, 22 or 23 when he won his first Tour de France. So the big engines are good straight away. Pogacar is one of them, of course.
And now I want you to talk about the sprint that Pogacar put on. Mm-hmm. It was miraculous. It was, we were watching them go to the line. I thought it might be similar to the head-to-head race they had earlier in the Tour. But man, when Pogacar was ready to go, it was like a motorcycle. It was
I mean, there you could have thought, okay, have they spoken to each other? Because normally if Pogacar would really say, okay, I'm going for the stage, he just stays at the wheel, right? But so a little bit, I said, okay, he goes to the front. Maybe they've spoken, and Jonas will win, right? But man, he went to the front. I mean, he was so easy. As I said, I mean, I saw at least two guys they caught from the breakaway, and Pogacar was kind of looking at them and joking. One of them was Johannesson. Johannesson got caught, went to the 5th or 6th position, and Pogacar was laughing, like smiling. He was just outstanding. And when he started that sprint, when Jonas was saying, okay, that's it, can't go anymore.
He has such a different looking sprint than anyone. Like his elbows are in, he's a little upright, but just
it's very, very special style. Very special style. Very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, you also have to say Jonas, his main goal of Jonas was to take more time on Remco. So obviously he has been pushing the pace. And at the end, I think I don't know how much he got, 40 seconds or something on Remco today. Let's see. 45 seconds. So, of course, that was his main goal, right? So he's been pushing it, and he just could not accelerate anymore. And Pogacar was just sitting on the wheel. I mean, we knew that he had another gear if he would have wanted. So, I mean, it shows that he's just above everybody else, JB. It's as simple as that.
Very much so. Let's talk a little bit more about Carapaz and how Wigo called it. And maybe I think he did. He called it very like middle of the Tour. We saw Ben Healy on the tack a lot, and going back to get Carapaz. Carapaz was struggling, and when Wigo was here with us, he kept saying, "You wait, Carapaz is coming on strong," and he did, and he's huge Tour for him to get a day in yellow, a stage win, and the polka dot jersey.
Yeah. And today he needed to. I mean, it was almost already sure yesterday but he needed to be in the break and score points on the first two climbs to have it mathematically sure. So which is what he did. But then he's still in there, and he's still in there for the stage win. And he was actually together with Enric Mas the strongest of the breakaway. So incredible that he could stay with Jonas and Tadej, because when these two guys caught them, when you come from a breakaway, you've been in a whole stage in the break, and they catch you on the last climb. I mean, that's a different speed. That's another speed. I mean, to be able to get in there and stay in there, and he only got dropped with 800 meters to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, at some point I said, is Carapaz going to hang on here? And it's not. He wouldn't have won, but that's pretty amazing. I mean, it shows you what kind of engine he has. He's a fighter. Even if there you see how much of a fighter he is. Just before they got caught, like literally, you could see them coming for sure. He was hearing in the earpiece, they're coming. We're still 2.5 kilometers to go. He still attacked. He still attacked Enric Mas.
Yep. I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think, if it's not one of the GC guys to win the polka dot jersey, I mean, a guy like Carapaz, obviously it's great. It's great for him and great for the race also to have, so the 4 jerseys, JB, will be won by Grand Tour winners. All 4 of the jerseys. Tadej, Jonas, no, sorry, no, not the green jersey, of course. The Tadej and Remco and Carapaz. All 3 Grand Tour winners and all the jerseys.
Okay. Anything else from today before I wanted you to tell us about this time trial tomorrow? Because when I look at the map of it, it looks kind of gnarly. Like there's a lot of hairpins and stuff like that. But was there anything else from today?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the time trial. Because my initial thought, and I love your thoughts on this, is like, obviously these top three guys want to win the time trial, right? But there's also a lot of risk on a time trial bike. You don't want to go down and blow the whole thing. So my question is to you, will they be going 100%?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I guess Tadej is probably going to go. I mean, he's going to not risk it all in the corners. He's going to go fast. I mean, he knows the roads. He lives there. Mm-hmm. I mean, he lives in Monaco. So that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Anyways, they all know this course, and they are so used to their time trial bikes also that there's, 15 years ago, you could say, well, they didn't ride that much on their time trial bike, but nowadays you can see it in the cool down. They're always on their time trial bikes, just to get used to it. Those three guys are going to go full gas. Yeah,
this wins. I'm sure they earmarked this win. They've reconned it.
It's also a prestige. It's a prestige victory. I'm going to predict Pogacar for the win. I mean, he's going to win the time trial.
It's just sheer numbers. They can't get close. I mean, they get close, but
Remco won the first time trial. This time trial is harder, especially seeing the speed on the climbs of Pogacar. It's nobody can match it. So I think Pogacar will win, and then Jonas and Remco will be second and third, or depending in which order. Sorry,
you could flip flop those two maybe tomorrow. You don't know.
Listen, Jonas destroyed everybody in the time trial last year, right? Like destroyed everybody. Mm-hmm. It's not the same Jonas. It's not going to happen now, but he could still be up. I mean, especially because it's a hard time trial. And he was not that far off the first time trial, which was more for pure specialists. So, if you would have asked me yesterday and 2 days ago, I would say Remco beats Jonas in the time trial. Now, after today, I don't know. I saw Vingegaard recover really well, and he was better than Remco today. So it's going to be interesting.
Any wild cards to watch for tomorrow, like Campenarts maybe? No, another level.
Too hard. It's too hard.
It's too hard.
Too hard. Plus, what's also going to happen is because tomorrow you will see. I have no confirmed information. So on the equipment, I don't know if they're going to do bike changes or because the first 17 kilometers are basically uphill. But not steep uphill. There's one steep uphill. It's about 1 kilometer long. And then the other ones, it's like 5-6%. So especially the way these top guys have their time trial bikes dialed in and they're super light. I think they're going to go on a time trial bike, the top three. But you will see a lot of riders tomorrow on their normal bike. Mm-hmm. A lot. Because they just want to, relax, take it easy. It doesn't matter anymore. Usually, for somebody who's not a real time trial specialist and hasn't spent a lot of time on the time trial bike, you go better uphill on your normal bike and you go better downhill. Mm-hmm. It's safer. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll see a lot of riders on normal bikes tomorrow, but riders that are not going for a result.
What's funny is usually a time trial late in the tour, it's usually the guys going last that are going to be the top competitors, right? But tomorrow, if you want to set your alarm and get up early and watch Mark Cavendish, he'll be going off second.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to see. I know they're going to pull highlights and stuff like that, but I want to watch Mark Cavendish on the course. And it's one of our listeners asked if his teammate would try to help him be last, Lantern Rouge, so that he could go first.
Okay.
But it's a Astana teammate, Bartoli, who's actually going to go off first. So
yeah.
That's something fun to watch tomorrow. I'm happy for that, man. Maybe we can get him on the show soon for an interview. Like,
would be good.
Yeah. You know, your Legends series, maybe this winter, he's going to be, he's going to be in a great mindset.
But now he's going to be retired. So we can call him now officially a legend, you know, because as long as you're not retired, you're not a legend. So
yeah, that would be good. I'd love to hear from him. So, okay. So there you go. Let's jump into Ventum Trivia. The last one. This is going to take a little research. It's a tricky question. But yesterday's question was name 5 American cyclists, men and women, competing in the road race and time trials in the upcoming Paris Olympics. Brandon McNulty, Magnus Sheffield, Matteo Jorgensen, and for the women, Chloe Dygert, and I think it's pronounced Taylor Knibb, Knibb, and she's also doing the Olympic triathlon. So that's I'll have to do some research. Of course, we're going to be doing Olympic coverage too, but for road race and time trial. Today's question is, in what country, you might have to jump on socials and you can probably figure this out. In what country did Ventum CEO Dia Noir get married? It was just last year. So maybe go look at his socials and scroll back.
I know the answer.
Yeah. Send that answer to ventumracing.com/TheMove. It's the last day to enter. Deal will be with us on the show tomorrow to draw the name. If you are in the market for a bike, can't wait, you've been maybe shopping online and building it out, you can do it now and save 20%. 20% off a new road or gravel bike. It's a big savings. And they have great tri-bikes too, if that's what you're into. It's at ventumracing.com. Use the code THEMOVE20 and it'll automatically discount it by 20%. There you go. A quick comment and then one question for you, Johan. It says, this is from Mark. He says, hi, on JB Squared yesterday, a listener asked for a book recommendation. The best must-read book for any cyclist is called The Rider by Tim Krabbe, 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 if you want to search for it. It's about a single race in Belgium and goes to the core of what it means to be a bike racer, is how they described it.
I know of the book. I haven't read it, but I'll check it out.
Here's another one. There's one I just started that I'm enjoying. It's called Sprinting Through No Man's Land: Endurance, Tragedy, and the Rebirth of the 1919 Tour de France.
Oh, wow.
It's about
1919.
Yeah. So basically it's about the promoter trying to put together the tour. The war had just ended.
Yeah.
World War I. And even it's daunting to think about because some of the riders who were going to compete got killed in action. And then the ones that did compete, they only had like a month to prepare because they had been off fighting.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to think about. So anyhow, that's by Aidan Dobkin, Dobkin, if you're interested. And one more question here. Patrick in California writes, greetings, JB Squared, the source of tour stage analysis. The question is, what was the HC classification? When was the HC classification introduced into the tour? Johan showed a course profile from a previous tour, and an HC climb from stage 19 of this year was listed as a Cat 1 then. Did something change in HC classifications? Again, that's from Patrick. Interesting question. But you guys don't miss a thing, do you?
That's an answer I don't know. I don't know. I would think, because I guess he's talking about the stage to Isola 2000 of 93. Let me quickly get that profile. I'll tell you. Let me just see.
This is something we just talked about on yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So yeah, I have the profile here. So
hey, I'm glad you guys are observing these graphics I put up.
Col de Vars. So I guess he's speaking about Col de Vars, which is strange because if you look at that profile, I mean, it's here it doesn't say HC, but for example, Col de la Bonnette is qualified E. And I guess, okay, now I see the profile is in Spanish. It's a Spanish profile, so E is especial, so special category.
Oh, so it's
Col de la Bonnette, but Col de Vars, which was horse category or HC yesterday, is category 1 here. I'm going to take a guess. I don't know exactly if it's true or not, but could it be that we came from the other side? That we did it from the other side. That could be potentially because of the steepness, because it looks steeper from the other side. That's the only thing I can think of. But then again, it doesn't make any sense because in that particular stage that I showed, we did the Col de l'Izoard. And that always has to be a HC climb. And here's the Cat 1 climb. So I really, I'm a bit, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Is it true? Like I always thought it was just a rumor, but maybe you know better, that the way they came up originally with the classifications was the gear the car was in. Is that a true story?
That is true. That is true. So it was based on a special model, the Citroën car.
French car, right?
French car, 2 chevaux. 2 chevaux means 2 horsepower. So this is a car, it had 2 horsepower. There was plenty of them in...
How can a car move on 2 horsepower?
Oh yeah, and this car, if you would look it up, Citroën 2 chevaux car racing, these cars were actually also used to do on racetracks to do races backwards. Because in reverse, because they go the same speed forward and backwards, same speed. So the qualification of a climb was depending on which gear you had to be in to climb that, to go up that climb. So if you could go in third, that's a Cat 3 climb. If you have to be in first, that's a Cat 1 climb.
Makes sense.
And I guess the HC was the one that they didn't get up.
That's why. And then you just go backwards down the mountain. It's a really cool story. Cool looking car. It looks like a kind of like a Volkswagen kind of car. Cool stuff. You don't see those in the US.
I remember when I was a kid in Belgium, we called it a goat, but a goat like the animal.
Okay.
Because for some reason, somebody thought that car looked like a goat or something. I don't know, but it was a goat. Not cool. The greatest of all times, but the animal goat.
Yeah. Patrick, thanks for your question. Johan, thank you very much. I think people should tune in to THEMOVE tomorrow because we'll get you on there because I really want you on there with Lance and George, kind of going through recapping this whole 3 weeks.
I'll be there.
Some of the best moments, some of the, who are the winners, the losers. Like I hate using the word losers, but you know what I mean. Who's walking away disappointed? There's a lot of teams that are leaving with nothing. Some big teams too. So you're partying.
I know 3 big French teams that leave disappointed. I mean, Groupama, FDG, Decathlon, AG2R, and Cofidis.
How soon when a tour ends do you have to answer to management and sponsors?
They have constant communication. But,
yeah.
I've seen an interview of Marc Madiot, and he's already whining. So we can talk about that tomorrow.
Okay.
My favorite DS.
Yeah. So catch that on. Is he the real animated one, Madiot? Yeah. Whenever you see a clip of him in the car or whatever, it's insane.
He's no control.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in with us the entire tour. It's been a blast. And Johan will be on the move. And then if we feel like there's anything additional we need to do on JB Squared after that happens, we may or may not do that. Like if we cover it all in the move, that's one thing. But if you think of things and like, I wish we'll jump on and do it. We don't mind. Yeah. And thank you, Johan, for all your great work this past few weeks. And we'll talk tomorrow first on the move.
Okay. Thanks.